What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are back in the shop and we are going to continue working on the rusty YJ. So if you haven't seen the first couple of videos on this YJ, this is a 1993 Jeep Wrangler YJ that is in pretty good condition, but it does have some pretty serious rust issues that we are taking care of here in the shop. So if you have not seen the previous video, this rust was right there, and then also on the inside here I cut out a bunch of the floor and actually just painted that tonight, so it's still wet and smelly. So a lot of cool stuff going on. Trying to get the Honda Nighthawk 250 Scrambler build, trying to get it back together, all while trying to work on all my stuff and other people's projects. So, but it's all in the name of science. So in the rear here, you can see it's definitely got some rust issues. The frame is filled up with sand, and so on the passenger side, you can see, yeah, it's all the way through. Like I can stick my hand all the way in there. So obviously I have the Jeep up on the lift right now. I'm going to take the rear tires off and probably go ahead and drop the gas tank, just because I don't want to burn myself alive, and I can get into the frame rails a lot better. But hopefully that gas tank won't be too hard coming out. I know sometimes the bolts can get kind of rusty, so that may be a chore of its own. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. I have everything pretty much loosened up on the gas tank here. I do have one bolt on this side in the front holding it, and one bolt in the back holding it. The Jeep says it has half a tank, so what I plan on doing, transmission jack up underneath it to support the gas tank. I just don't want like 12 gallons of gas in my shop floor, so I've just got to be really careful when bringing it down. But overall, the gas tank came out pretty easy, knock on wood. I forgot how easy YJ gas tanks are to take out. But look at this I found. I found this pretty interesting. So I've just been kind of like scanning this Jeep all around, but you can see the rust hole right there. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad, pretty bad. But check this out. Looks like somebody's been welding on this thing before. Yeah. And it's like that on the passenger side too. I don't know what happened there. But I mean, you can see the piece of welding rod coming out. Sweet. I dig it. I was gonna try to just take all those hoses out as one, but apparently you can't. So now I've got to be really careful taking those hose clamps off, because I don't know if you can see, but that filler hose is pretty dry rotted. The gas tank hoses I disconnected were dry rotted too. But alright, so let me show you where I'm at. I'm kind of stumped right now. These hoses are so dry rotted that they are not coming off of the gas tank. So anytime that I try to pull on the hose, it just cracks more and rips. So I'm probably just gonna have to cut it and just get new ones. I mean, it's good practice to put new hoses on anyway whenever the gas tank comes out, but I really hate messing up somebody's stuff, but I can't really help the dry rot. I have the filler necks out, and I just want to show you something to be cautious for if you're ever messing with your gas tank on any of these older Jeeps. But so you can see right there where I had to cut it, I just took a razor blade along one of these dry rotted cracks just to make it easier for myself to get out. But you can look right here. Look at all of these dry rotted cracks. Like that right there. And then look at this one. There was a big one somewhere. Oh, right here. Look at that. So I'm sure the owner was starting to smell gas in this
I'm tired, boss.
We're going to be replacing those with some new ones. And one thing, if you ever have to cut these, always cut them this way right here and don't cut them around. That way you could take this to a parts store. Here, I need these hoses. Give me these hoses. It's for a four-wheel drive. So always try to keep your hoses intact. And this one even has the part number on it. I don't know if we can reference that, but anyway, we'll see if the gas tank will come out now. Easy, girl. So I haven't disconnected the wires yet, just so y'all know. But you got to lower it down a wee bit to get in there to disconnect the wires, because it's right there on top and there's about this much room to get your hands in there. Like as soon as I reached my hand in there, I felt something move, and it was this like water bug, cockroach, chupacabra bug. But there's like a nest up there. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's on the opposite side over there. But he's somewhere in there. You see him? Oh, there's two of them. All right, so this just turned into an exterminating job, because I've seen 3 of those giant bugs now. These dudes are everywhere. There's one like right here somewhere. They're chasing me.
Notarized proof of kinship with the deceased.
Don't do that.
Good thing I got this O'Reilly brand roach killer. This stuff works great. Where are you at? There you are. Right there. Oh, I'll grab the empty can. Ha! I swear I just heard that thing scream. Okay. All right. So I got the plug. I kind of got distracted, I'm not gonna lie. But I got the plug, it was actually right here. Now I've got to take this vent line out and then take it off the other side. And then I can drop the tank, and hopefully no more multi-leg surprises fall out on me. I've got everything disconnected, vent lines, fuel lines, wiring, bugs. Got everything off of the gas tank.
Jim, they are poopy.
Now I'm going to try to get these body bolts out. I'm going to try my best not to break these bolts, but they got to come out. I did spray them with some PB Blaster, but hopefully they'll come out. Ah. So I'm taking this shackle off right here, hopefully. Because I want to get it completely out of the way. And this thing does not want to come off. I think I'm going to start with this side right here because it seems to be the worst, and the other side will just give me something to look forward to. So I got these to work with, These are some YJ frame replacements for the rear. And you can see here, I mean, it's basically just little frame pieces. And it even came with the bushings. So that's pretty cool. But I believe this is the driver's side right here. So basically I just put this, or I measure this and mark it and put it up there. Oh, it's got directions. Oh, cool. Well, this is really helpful. I'm glad I found this because I was just about to make some templates of this and start cutting, but this gives you some reference points right here. So if your frame is like completely gone, but I will put a link in the description below for these right here. I don't know the exact name of the company. I think they came from the River website, but so I'm gonna start doing some measuring here. I have the outline of what the instructions said, what to do. Basically, you just measure up right here, I think it's an inch, and then you measure out an inch, come down, go all the way to this flange, and then come out to right here, and then measure up to about right here, and then you cut the bottom. So on this side, you actually cut different. That's what the direction said. I read it twice to make sure. So the same thing right here, you measure up 1 inch, come out 1 inch, and then come out 1 inch right here. And then you go all the way to the flange, and you see I've got some rust in there. And then obviously I got rust there, but so right here you come down, and then you go straight across right here and then go up. Whereas the other side, you kind of follow this, but that's what the directions say. I read them twice, so we're just going to go that route. But I know everywhere right here is going to be good metal, but we're going to verify that after we cut it all out. If you hear that noise in the background, my heater, I had to get a propane heater in here because it is super cold right now. And I'm going to try to get my plasma cutter in here and start cutting some of this. I may not be able to hold a straight line, so I may have to do these long sections with a grinder, but stuff like this, I'm gonna have to get the plasma cutter in here. So anyway, we'll start doing that. Hopefully this will come right out. Ah! Look at that. So this part right here, this is what it says do in the instructions. So that's why it kind of looks like weird, but that's how you're supposed to do it. You know that. Get all that rust out and dirt out there. Jeez. Holy crap. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cleaning up some of these edges just a little bit with my grinder right here. Before I start really mocking this thing up, I really need to get all of that gunk and sand and everything out of the frame that's in front of this. So as you saw, every time I was hit this, it would just dump sand. And so obviously I've got sand all the way to at least this spot right here. So I believe this is filled with sand. So I'm going to take a shop vac with a rubber pickup, whatever this is called. It's flexible, and I did put a screw inside of it so that I know it won't fall off inside of the frame. So let's see how much sand we can get out. All right, so The shop vac is empty, as you can tell. So let's see how much we can get out. And I'm not going to count everything that's in the floor. So, because all of this came from inside of the frame. So, hopefully I won't get that much out, but I want to get it all out. So, let's see what we got. I got the frame all shop vac out. You can see there are some bolt holes that I took out, and just kind of shine my flashlight in there to make sure there's no dirt anywhere else in the frame. So I think we're good. I checked the front where the e-brake goes into the frame right there, and there's nothing up there. So it was pretty much from like right here back. And I verified that my shop vac was making it all the way to right here. So let's see how much we got in here. Survey says, ooh, that's kind of a lot. Look at all that. All that was in that frame. How nuts is that? Frame killer. Sweet. That's definitely a huge leap in the right direction for this Jeep. That frame's going to be a lot happier now. So what I'm going to do now that the frame is all nice and happy on the inside, I'm going to start just kind of cleaning up some of this rust right here. So this is where the frame actually met this exposed cross member, which is, I guess, the rear bumper on this Jeep. But it's kind of got some jagged edges right here. So I'm just going to come in and start cleaning it up really good. That way the new plate fits a lot easier. So I started cleaning this up just a little bit, and it's a lot more difficult than what I thought it was going to be. So I'm probably just going to put a pin in that and go on a side quest and see if I can go ahead and fix this broken bolt up in here. So if you've never broken one of these bolts, they're a huge pain in the butt because they're loose. So there's a piece of metal in there with a nut welded to it, and it's just up in there where you can't get to it. It's completely boxed in inside of this tub, so it's not like you can drill it out or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I've done this in the past, and it's just cut, grind, weld, repeat. I'm just going to make a small incision right here. That way I can get that piece of metal out, and that way I can get a new one in and then run the bolt up once everything is in place. I want to go ahead and do this before I get this big bulky piece of metal right here. That way if I've got to, come in here and get kind of, fancy with the grinder, I've got some breathing room. Alright, so it is a new night in the shop. I just got back from my kids' karate Christmas party and got them all to bed, so I'm going to be working in the shop a little while. And let me show you what I've got going on so far. So what I have done off camera is I have gone through here, and you can see everything's kind of wet right now. So I went down and just grinded everything down to bare metal, and then I hit it with some weldable spray paint. And that is because, so this section, for example, this section right here, I had it all the way ground down to bare metal, and I don't want any bare metal on here, so I'm going to be welding about right here. So this would rust behind where I am welding that new plate on. And I also did it on the back side, and then I painted as far as I could on the inside of the frame. Then over here, I have my new frame piece. You can see I've kind of grinded it down, getting ready to tack weld this on right here. But one thing I'll show you, and I could be completely wrong, so let me know in the comments. So you can see here, it has a welded seam on both sides all the way down. Okay, that's fine. But on the bottom side, right here where you actually would see it, it's only got a couple of tack welds. I think I'm just going to come in here and put a few more tack welds all the way down on both sides, just because I feel like it just needs a little bit more rigidity right here. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think I'm going overkill with these tack welds? So I decided, I don't know what y'all are going to put in the comments, but I am going to put some tack welds all down it just because it'll make me feel better. So don't mind my messy shop, trying to get old rusty Shackleford here back together. This is my scrambler build, but check this out. Can't beat an old Honda. So I think I'm gonna be making a video on this bike here shortly, kind of going over the ins and outs of it. What do y'all think? Y'all like scrambler builds? All right, sorry. I have ADD really bad. I gotta get back to work. So I've got this all welded up, and then I did grind it down. As you can see right here, it's kind of hot, just burnt myself. But you can see right there, on the inside, I kind of left the bead right there. I just left more material there. And then on the outside, so this is what you'll be able to see. I went ahead and grinded it all the way down, but there is weld all in there now. And you can see by the massive pile of dust in my shop how much grinding it took. I could have left the weld and it would have been fine, but I want this to look factory as possible. I know it's not going to look factory, but I just want it to look as close factory as possible. So now that everything is dry on here, that weldable spray paint is dry, I'm actually going to put this up here and probably go ahead and see about getting it tack welded on. Show you my fitment issue. I don't know if this is an issue. I don't know if this is intentional. Let me show you what I got going on. Ugh. All right, so as you can see right here, let me get you to zoom in. So as you can see right here, this is flush. You see that? This is flush. And put a clamp on it, because that's where you're supposed to weld it. So get that as close as possible. And then this one right here, get this as up as possible. And it's flush on this side, so it's flush everywhere. But look at this. You see the distance right there? Right here. So you would think it would cover it perfectly, but I don't know if they left this out so I can weld right here. I'm not really sure on that. So full disclosure, I've already tested this on here, and I made sure that my leaf spring mount is in the correct spot, and it is. So I pulled measurements from 3 different spots on the passenger side, and then I pulled 3 different spots on the driver's side, and this is it. This is exactly where it needs to go. Right here, it looks like I trimmed up too much metal, but I can fix that. And then the other spot is right here. But I mean, I can weld that, which is no issue. I just don't know if that's intentional or not. To be honest with you, nothing else really matters to me on the location of this except for that. My thing is suspension over everything, because if this is in the wrong spot, like if this is too far back, then it's not going to be correct. If it's too far forward, the angle of the shackle is going to differ. So, you know, if it's straight up and down, it's going to ride like crap. Like I said, right here, this is exactly where it needs to be. The suspension location kind of trumps this little issue going on right here. So I will say before I start tack welding, I'm going to probably put a tack right here, tack right here. I'm going to be jumping around just a little bit, because if you start welding, like if you just start laying down beads, that whole piece of metal is going to start chasing the heat. That's why I'm going to be jumping all around with my welds. Whew.